In the world around us, everyone has their own opinion. Several people can agree with one another on a single topic, but each person has their own doubts. One such topic that is synonymous of everyone having their own doubts is death. In simple terms, it is the end of one's life. In relation to science, it would be the state in which the life factor of life is derived from a living thing, where a person could run out of blood or a disease overtakes an important organ in the body. Yet the most common cause people associate death with is age. Old age, in theory, equals a higher chance of kicking the bucket. Nonetheless, reasoning behind one's death is not the core topic to be discussed here. The bottom line is that people have their hesitations on what is beyond death. What happens after a person passes away? What determines how that person or soul will live on after they die? All these questions correlate with one's emotional response. A person having doubt, in other words, means they don't have a consistent answer or isn't sure with that answer, or they simply don't have the evidence to believe in it. Not knowing the answer to a question is confusing and stressful enough. However, not knowing the answer to the question of death and the afterlife is much more stressful. It's frightening. People are scared of the unknown. That is a subject that once one knows the personal answer to it, they are already far away from the land of the living. Death is visually powerful. Seeing an unknown person die in front of your eyes brings sorrow into even the toughest of people. Why? Because it could happen at any time to anyone, anywhere. People sleep at night not knowing that the next day they themselves could be swept away from the world they live in. Religion plays an important role in providing a general reason from their perspective. Early primitive religion often involves animal or object worship, as the people of those times saw anything new or valuable worth worshipping. However, most people think of Ra, pyramids, and ancient Egypt when associated with the oldest religion. The ancient Egyptians believed that their life depended on each other. When they worked with one another, there was a balance in life that worked in favor for the gods. They saw death as their judgment day, the day their life would be determined by Osiris, the god of the afterlife, underworld, and rebirth. The soul of the past person would stand before 42 judges and Osiris in the Hall of Truth. The heart of the soul would later be measured against a feather on a golden scale. If one's heart was lighter than the feather, which meant their heart was pure and kind, they would await the decision decided by those who sat in the Hall of Truth and the addition of Thoth, the god of wisdom. The decision would be based on the worthiness of that soul. If decided not worthy, and or one's heart was heavier than a feather, the soul would be eaten by Amut and disappear from existence. But if worthy, that soul was ensured an afterlife in a paradise wonderland. Next on the line would be the ancient Greeks. They believed that a person who lived a kind, fair life and was remembered by those who still lived deserved a place in Elysium. If they committed bad sins in their life, they went to Tartarus. If they were forgotten by their loved ones, they ended up in the land of Hades. One's actions and respect for those who have passed on is valuable in justifying where one person ends up in the afterlife. Yet these aforementioned beliefs are no longer practiced today. The modern Greeks majorly believe in Christianity, whereas Egyptians nowadays have transitioned into Christians or Muslims. Nevertheless, one of the oldest still in practice religions would be Zoroastrianism. Within this faith, people who are awaiting death do not fear it, they instead prepare for it. They ensure the person is at peace, has the proper preparations for the afterlife, and has a legacy to leave. Once that person is gone, the community celebrates one state of death as one state of birth of their second life. Their soul enters heaven or hell based on the honesty, goodness, and helpfulness they've maintained throughout their life. Yet the soul does not go to a place after death. it enters a state of mind based on one's own concept of it. Therefore, it is nothing to fear of, as one day their God will hold back all souls for a cleanse. The most popular religions today include Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. These religions overtake a large majority of the commonly practiced religions around the world. Before entering Christianity, Judaism must first be looked upon. In theory, people who believe in Judaism visit heaven every time they sleep, and their soul returns back to their body when they wake up. When one passes away, the soul goes to Sheol, which is where all the souls wait for the coming of Messiah, who will judge where each soul will go. The good go to Gan Eden, while the bad go to Gehenna. But for now, they wait. Christianity has roots connected to Judaism. Nonetheless, it is the most influential religion in the Western Hemisphere that believes after death, one's faith in God and Christ alongside good deeds will allow a person a seat in heaven, whereas one who chooses not to believe will therefore be sent to hell. Nonetheless, this is only the first judgment that occurs. There is another judgment at the end of time. To many, this means there is a second chance. But in the Catholic Church, a second chance awaits one long before the end of time. Purgatory, a place that has a cleansing fire that will derive people of their past sins, allowing them an early passageway to heaven. Islam also has its roots in relation to Christianity. They believe in death. Those who have passed remain in their graves awaiting the last day, which is another word for Judgment Day. Those who are good rest in peace in their graves awaiting their passageway to heaven, whereas those who have sinned suffer pain before being sent to hell. Now far-reaching into India, Hinduism believes in karma and reincarnation. The word defined as good will lead to good things, bad will lead to bad things. Within this religion, people that pass away await their next life in Swarg or Narak based on their past doings. If a soul continues to commit sins life after life, they will be born in the next life as an animal. Nonetheless, one soul in the end enters moksha, the escape from the reincarnation cycle. Buddhist reincarnation is based on one's following of the Eightfold Paths, the rules all believers must follow. Karma based on past lives determine what body the soul wakes up in the afterlife: an animal, ghost, demigod, human, or god. Nirvana is where the soul is free from this state and is enlightened. The Chinese folk religion, a common misconception for Buddhism, Taoism, and or Confucianism. Despite having elements from all those beliefs, after death, the spirit of the past soul are brought by messengers to the god Cheng Huang, who decides where the soul shall go. If one was good, one would go and remain in paradise. Sinners go to the court or levels of hell, where they undergo punishment until their sentence has been completed. After that, they are reborn. These are all religions associated with the large majority of the world, yet other non-God believing faiths await. Shinto, Japan's most followed belief, sees death as a dark place. Followers meditate about death to understand the significance in life. That is, it is short and a one-time opportunity. After death, the soul enters a different realm that allows the soul to only visit the living during rituals or festivals. Otherwise, they remain in peace. In Western countries, atheism is heavily associated with the belief in which there is no God at all. Nonetheless, atheism is a general term. Shinto and Unitarianism, or agnostic, can be considered as atheist religions. However, true atheists turn to what seems most logical: science. Death is when the organ ceases to function properly. a proper explanation that all can believe in. But their followers do have doubts about the afterlife, something that not all atheists can believe in. Each atheist decides on their own understanding of the afterlife. There is no general version of it. Therefore, people fear death as it is something that does not have a clear answer to its mystery. One can barely go from the living to the dead and remember what was beyond all that blackness. People are so frightful of it as no one knows if it is good or bad. Society today is different in a big way in comparison to centuries ago. And with this comes free will, the freedom of believing in what people want to. This free will provides confusion for people to decide which is to follow. Nonetheless, death in simple terms can be placed this way. It is Judgment Day, where your actions decide how you will live in the afterlife, either in peace or pain. The moment that serves as most valuable to a person is the moment one has merely before their passing. That moment is when they should live in peace and not in terror. Religions give an image to the afterlife to provide those who are close to death a sense of understanding that you are not alone in this. Death is coming for everyone whether they want it or not. Their reasons provide a sense of calmness as the person will more or less have a blurry vision of what lays beyond their body. There are no religions that are the same. Even cultures mix with religion, which provide its authenticity to each community. Some religions do derive a thing or two from another faith, and that allows a general mindset that good will lead to a peaceful paradise and bad will result in pain. Faith is a powerful tool that sensates hope and eliminates or decreases the sense of fear in one's self. Knowing that there are others that await the same fate provide one with the sense to live one's life to the fullest, and that is what all religions hope to do. For a person to live a life full of good that allows for them to help one another in the global community.